Most haunted shipwrecks ever discovered. No one can tell for sure how long we've been using ships to travel on water. It's said that the early Egyptians more than 6,000 years ago are recorded to use ships for various reasons. Ships sink all the time. Sometimes these ships sink in shallow waters, which are not that hard to find. Sometimes ships sink in the deep depths of the ocean, which makes it impossible to find the wreck. As we have discovered very less about our oceans. During many underwater expeditions, despite finding new marine and plant life, scientists are also discovering shipwrecks. Some of these shipwrecks are very old, and the horrifying part is that many of these shipwrecks took down a huge number of passengers or ship crew with them. We are going to talk about some of the most haunted shipwrecks ever discovered by the scientists on our ocean's bed. But before we begin, remember to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon down below. Let's start. Number 1. The SS Doria. The SS Andrea is one of the hardest places for scuba divers to visit. It is known as the Mount Everest of scuba diving. This was one of the biggest ships of its time from Italy, with a capacity of carrying 1,200 passengers as well as 500 crew members. After World War II, Italy decided to construct the biggest, fastest, and safest ship at that time. It was considered a matter of national pride for the nation. From 1953 to 1956, the ship went on several voyages. In July of 1956, the ship sunk in a way that no one can even imagine. On its way from New York to Sweden, the ship entered heavy fog, and no one had any idea what was going on. Another ship, MS Stockholm, also entered the fog. The fog made it impossible visually for both the crews to spot anything on their way. The ship miscommunicated their movement and without knowing started heading toward each other. This resulted in horrible collision and the ships sank 180 feet below the water. Only 46 lives were lost in the crash. The most horrifying thing is that the divers who go down to the wreck have seen movement inside the ship without the presence of any fish. They also say that it feels like someone is touching their shoulder or is pulled towards something. Many divers have lost their lives trying to reach the wreck. Number 2. The Ironsides. The Ironsides was the most luxurious ship of its time for traveling. It was the fanciest ship when it was launched in 1864. The ship had a leaking problem, which was getting worse with every voyage. People started saying that the ship was not seaworthy and was considered to be a future disaster. Even the crew was scared as the disaster was formidable. In September of 1873, a huge storm struck the ship. Huge waves caused the ship to crack. The ship started to drown immediately. Due to the storm, no ship could go for a rescue mission. Only 5 lifeboats were available for the passengers, and just 2 out of the 5 made their way to the shore. Many lives were lost that day. Hundreds of bodies were seen floating the next day with the waves. People say that sometimes shouts calling for help are heard from the site at night. Number 3. The SS Mohegan. In October of 1898, the ship was on its second voyage from London to New York. The ship went away from its course and went toward the Cornish coastline. The ship crashed into the deadly rocks of the Manacles, resulting in 106 people dying. The captain of the ship got on a lifeboat and made it to the coastline. The captain was a highly experienced person, and no one expected him to move off course. It is said that the captain purposefully sank the ship for insurance money, killing 106 people in the process. The divers who visit the shipwreck say that they experience weird things around the wreck. Some of the divers claim that they experience an electric shock-like sensation upon touching the wreck. Another group of divers claim that they saw a mysterious object floating around the wreck. Upon following the object, they found a skeleton, as if the mysterious object was leading them towards the skeleton. Number 4. Fujikawa Maru and Hokimaru. These Japanese ships were sunk by the U.S. Navy in 1944 during World War II. Both these shipwrecks rest at the bottom of Turk Lagoon. The divers who have visited the wreck report hearing machinery operation. Despite the danger of sharks in the area, an expedition to the spot reports seeing the engine machines working, which is not possible as it has been so long and the ships are decaying. The decaying and the water damage also have a huge effect on the appearance of both the wrecks. They look really creepy. Number 5. RMS Rhone. The RMS Rhone is one of the most popular wreck diving sites in the Caribbean. This Royal Britain mail ship got hit by a hurricane. The passengers of the ship were tied to their bunkers to avoid any kind of injuries, which turned out to be a bad idea. The captain of the ship went overboard due to high-pressure winds and was never seen again. Only 25 people out of 145 survived. Now that the wreck site is adapted to the ocean environment, many marine lives have made it their home. The divers who have visited the wreck claim to hear screams of people and also seem to notice physical contact with things that do not actually exist there. These claims make the beautiful wreck really creepy. Number 6. The USAT Liberty. The USAT Liberty was a U.S. Navy cargo ship used in World War II. This ship got hit by a Japanese torpedo. The ship was towed and brought near Barley. The eruption of Mount Agung in 1963 forced the ship back to the sea. Now it is 100 feet underwater. The divers who visit the wreck have reported seeing a mysterious object moving towards them, which suddenly disappears. Some people say that it is the torpedo that caused the destruction of the ship. No screams or any horrifying thing have been seen or heard from this wreck. Only the mysterious torpedo-like object has been reported. Number 7. The Salem Express. This French passenger ship sunk in the Red Sea. In December of 1991, the vessel was carrying hundreds of Egyptian pilgrims when it hit the Hindman Reefs. The ship sunk within minutes when it got hit. Out of 700 people on board, 470 people died. The rest of the people were nowhere to be found. The wreck was so dangerous that the divers who went there to recover bodies or other things had to stop going there. The wreck still contains many cars and luggage as well as many other objects. The divers who have visited the wreck have reported hearing children laughing and playing and car engines starting. Some also claim to see the tires of the rusted cars move, which is not possible because of the rust. Number 8. The SS Emperor. It was a Canadian ship that sank off the shore of Isle Royale in Lake Superior in 1947. In June of 1947, the vessel left for its destination with 10.5 tons of iron on board. The ship crashed on canoe rocks near Isle Royale. The ship sank within an hour. 12 of the crew members died in the wreck. Most of the people were rescued, but still many of the people or their bodies were nowhere to be found. Divers claim to have seen the dead crew still working underwater on the shipwreck while whispering the word "die" repeatedly. This is the creepiest thing ever reported by anyone after visiting an underwater shipwreck. This is all for today. I wonder who would want to visit a haunted shipwreck after knowing about all these places. Most certainly not me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you will not miss a new video. Thank you.